It's time to own it, Jaguars fans.
That's our stadium. This is our city, and this is our team. Own it.
This is the Publix Tailgate Show. JP Shadrick and Mike Dempsey will guide you through the next 2 hours with insight and analysis of your Jacksonville Jaguars. The Publix Tailgate Show is brought to you by Baptist Health, Farah and Farah, and by TIAA Bank. Let's get the tailgating started. Here are Mike Dempsey and JP Shadrick.
The Jaguars have named a starting quarterback and traded another away. And now it's the last opportunity for players on the roster bubble to put something on tape before final cuts next week. Plenty of business to attend to today for the Jacksonville Jaguars as they wrap the preseason in Arlington, Texas against the Dallas Cowboys. Each team looking for their first winning result in the 2021 preseason. Kickoff at Etienne Stadium coming up at 1 o'clock. And welcome into the Publix Tailgate Show. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey. And here we are, the preseason about to come to a close 6 hours from now.
Yeah, look, I think the biggest thing is let's hope that 6 hours from now the Jaguars are as healthy as they are right at this moment. That, honestly, for me, JP, that is going to supersede everything going on after, of course, their own loss at Travis Etienne for the season in Monday night's game. You see J.K. Dobbins going down. You realize it can happen on any play. And we know that, and that's football. But this is football that ultimately gets wiped away and doesn't count in the standings. So you have to weigh that, particularly with an offensive line that is going to be nowhere near 100% today for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's the balance, right? You want to see some offensive production, especially with that first group, but a lot of that first group might not be available. They could be down 4 offensive linemen today.
Well, 4 offensive linemen, DJ Chark, you would expect Marvin Jones not going to be there. So what exactly, what degree of chemistry can Trevor Lawrence develop when he's out there today? Maybe no James Robinson. I wouldn't play James Robinson today. I don't know about you, but I don't need to see James Robinson. He did plenty last year, and now with Etienne out of the picture, he takes on even added significance in this offense. So, look, however they do it is how they're going to do it today, but I'll be fine whenever they decide to call it a day for Trevor Lawrence.
Game day weather presented by roofclaim.com. Protection made simple in Jacksonville, 82 degrees. And cloudy skies should clear up a little later in the day around lunchtime. And the high today right around 90 degrees. In Dallas, of course, they have that retractable roof so God can watch the Cowboys play. That's what they say in the old days.
Yes, the hole in the roof.
But we'll see if it's open at all today in Dallas.
Yeah, look, it's nice to have that option, I suppose, right? if you've got the inclement weather. But, really – that's not the biggest concern, I think, for either one of these teams. And look, Dallas is not going to get a look at their starting quarterback in the preseason here as well. So they don't know quite exactly what they have, although Dak Prescott has a track record in the National Football League. They'll be, seeing him really for the first time in the opener this year.
Let's get to today's top stories and start with the Jaguars quarterback situation. It's settled. Trevor Lawrence announced as the starter earlier this week. Urban Meyer with the announcement Wednesday.
It's a 3-week preseason as opposed to a 4. We do have the bye week afterwards, but as we continue, it's a matter of a little bit of repetition now. So we wanted him to earn it, as we do with every position. We felt he has after the last night's performance. It was good, obviously not great, but we didn't run the ball very well. But I kind of in my mind had that as after the second preseason that we kind of have to get someone ready to play in 3 weeks.
Trevor Lawrence's reaction.
So I'm really excited for the opportunity. It doesn't really change anything, though. Still got the same task in front of us. Got to get a lot better individually, as a team, as an offense. So just looking forward to going to work this week. It brings some clarity, which is nice going forward, but it really doesn't change much. But, yeah, I'm really excited for the opportunity, grateful for it.
And then Saturday, Gardner Minshew II traded to the Philadelphia Eagles for a 6th-round pick in 2022. It could bump up to a 5th-round pick if he plays in a certain amount of the games this coming season. So C.J. Beathard's the backup. That's a lot of quarterback news in 1 week.
Well, it is, and, it's just interesting. You had basically Gardner Minshew splitting first-team reps with Trevor Lawrence right up until last week's preseason game, or really just this week, the Monday, just 6 days ago. And then you find out that his market value, I presume they shopped him around, is no greater than a 6th-round pick with the potential to be a 5th if he plays in at least half of 3 games this year. So let's call it a 5th-round pick. Even so, for an inexpensive backup with experience, I think there will be a debate, should the Jags have kept Gardner Minshew at that cost, and should they have just rolled with 3 quarterbacks? Certainly C.J. Beathard has outplayed him in the preseason games. Minshew held the edge in practices, and look, ultimately this is the way they decided to go, and I think they signed Beathard with the idea that he ultimately would be the backup. I wasn't sure that was going to happen until I saw him play the way he did the last couple of preseason games.
Rookie running back Travis Etienne Jr. done for the year with a Lisfranc injury. How do they fill the role of running back / receiver / weapon? Urban's reaction to losing him on Wednesday.
Yeah, that was a shot in the jaw, that one. It was really coming on in practice, and you saw his big playability in practice, not in the game yet. Tough injury. How do we fill that? We're still in that conversation right now.
It could open up some opportunities for a guy like Dare Ogunbowale, who should see significant time today.
It's fun, man. It's a fun offense. Coach Bevel, he's got some real interesting ways to get running backs the ball for sure. Me as a good route runner, I'm excited, to be able to show that. And then all the running backs, we all have kind of different skill sets. So Coach Bevel wants to get the ball in our hands in a lot of different ways. So it is exciting.
They may not have an answer currently for that question of how do you fill Etienne's roles, because he was, in theory, going to do a whole lot of different things for this offense.
Well, there's clearly no one guy on the roster that's going to do that, because you spent the 25th pick in the draft on him for a reason. He has a great skill set that cannot be replicated by any one player on this roster. It's going to be kind of a committee situation. I think Ogunbowale is a great opportunity to be the primary third down back, but does that mean he's going to give you those explosive plays like Travis Etienne was going to be counted on for? We don't know how many he would have provided, but he's the kind of guy that can make a guy miss and take it the distance from any place on the field. Ogunbowale is not that guy. But look, the Jags have to go on. This is, JP, very reminiscent of losing Dante Fowler Jr. Before he got to play at all his rookie season, and then losing Allen Robinson in 2017 after one catch for 17 yards to start the year. Such a big piece of that offense, and the Jags, on the strength of their defense and everybody else stepping up, were able to steamroll to the AFC title game that year. Don't suspect that that's the path they're on, coming off a 1-15 season, but it's not like this organization has not had to go through this before. And what are you going to do? I mean, you can only wallow in it for a couple of days, and then you got to figure out a way to replace Etienne as best you can.
Did I hear a hint of a prediction? AFC Championship game?
I think they'll make another AFC Championship game. I'm not going to predict that it will come this upcoming January.
Okay, let's just be clear there. Offensive linemen are unavailable most likely today. Andrew Norwell with an elbow issue. Brandon Linder working through a minor knee issue. Right guard A.J. Cann is on the reserve COVID-19 list this week. And then left tackle Cam Robinson, a question mark. Remember, he missed last week's game after turning an ankle a day or so before the game, and it gives a player like second-year guard Ben Barch an opportunity to work in camp with the first team.
Definitely, as an offensive lineman, I'm very critical of myself. I have a lot of stuff I need to work on. I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and just come to practice every day and work really hard and watch the film and go over what I need to work on. But I've enjoyed it. A lot.
Ben. Fourth round draft pick last year out of St. John's in Minnesota, small school. He was going to be a project, and that project is continuing, and I think they've liked what they've seen out of Barch.
Well, they certainly got a great look at him, right? With Andrew Norwell missing time in the preseason, Barch has had the opportunity to start at left guard and basically play as the first-team left guard throughout camp, so they have a pretty good sense of where he is in his development. I don't think he's a finished product by any stretch of the imagination. I think they're very eager to have Andrew Norwell back. They're really counting on him to be a big part of solidifying that offensive line. But at least for Barch, he got a lot of meaningful reps, so if he has to go into a game this season, you're going to feel like he's a little bit more seasoned.
Let's go to the defense now. Plenty of tough cuts coming next week at defensive back, especially in a crowded and talented safety room for the Jags. Defensive coordinator Joe Cullen says, "Not so fast, my friends. If there's a role, there's a way to keep some players."
Well, I think it's all relative to how that person fits into the big picture. They play in special teams. Do they have a role on defense? They have to do those things. I mean, if we keep anybody, I know speaking defensively over the years, okay, what's their value on special teams? I'm talking about as the bottom of the roster. Got to be great on special teams, and they have to have a role. And a lot of times when you talk about different personnel groupings like the dime, you'd like a faster guy. Like nickel is the two backers. dime is you bring in another DB like a Rudy Ford or Cisco or someone like that. Over the years in Baltimore, in Tampa where we've been, we put another DB in there. But when you have a deep position at safety and they play well on special teams and they're fast, you'll find a home for them.
Yeah, even going into this game, there's still 4 number ones at strong safety on the depth chart, so they're trying to figure out some things in the back end of the defense. But a great point there by Cullen, of course. You got to do a few different things. They'll have a bunch of different packages on defense. So even if you're, the 53rd guy and the last safety, you're going to have a role or two on this team.
Well, there's been a lot of speculation as well because they are seemingly deep at safety that this team is going to play a lot more dime defense than maybe most teams in the National Football League will, with one of those safeties playing kind of a linebacker role in those situations. So we'll see how it all plays out. Andre Cisco's a guy I think they would like to earn the starting job, but you heard Joe Cullen there mention him as a dime option, right? So look, they're not going to give anything away right now. As you said, there are 4 co-starters on the depth chart. That spot is still to be earned, not only today, JP, but I think over the next week and a half of practice.
Let's go to the defensive line. Taven Bryan spoke with the media this week. A slow start to training camp for him, was on the COVID-19 list, had an accident away from the building, a lot going on for him. He's slowly working his way back and got 60% of the reps in last week's game against the Saints. Obviously a big year for Bryan to prove something.
Pretty good for the most part. It's hard to be away for so long, especially important time frames, and especially when you can't be in the building and whatnot. But, for the most part, I got on the virtual meetings and then caught up real quick. You control what you can control, and they gave me those extra reps probably because I've been out so long and they haven't really got to see me, especially most of these coaches. And, I appreciate the extra reps and be able to get in there and kind of show what I can do.
If they find a couple things that he can do and do well, then Taven can step out and help this defensive line.
Well, I know that it wasn't this regime that drafted him, but this organization did, and they spent a first-round pick on him, so you'd like to get something out of Taven Bryan here in this rookie contract. Joe Cullen seemed to indicate that they will be able to find some kind of role for Taven Bryan on this team. So right now I think he's got 1 foot in the good column in terms of making the 53. The question is, how effective is he going to be, JP? I mean, I think he's got a chance to be part of that second wave rotation on the defensive linemen, but I think, I'm going to have to rely on the coaching staff as to whether or not his situational awareness has improved, because he's a guy that, with tons of athletic ability, seemed to have trouble finding the football throughout his Jaguar career.
Those are some of today's top stories: season tickets, single game tickets, and group tickets. Be a part of the new era of Jaguars football and own it. Visit jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. Time for our weekly segment from Emmanuel Thalleran, known as E.T. on Jaguars Today. We hear directly from you, the Jaguars fans. This is Come On Somebody, Come On Everybody.
Good morning, Duval, and welcome to another edition of Come On Somebody, Come On Everybody. First and foremost, I would like to thank each and every one of you, because you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I'm so appreciative. Each week, I'm going to be giving you a topic, and I like to give you, the listeners, an opportunity to share what's on your mind. Express thyself. And the only thing that I ask for in return is for you to say it with your chest. This week, we're talking touches. With the unfortunate news of Travis Etienne's season-ending injury, somebody's workload just went up. So I'm asking you, Jacksonville, who do you think should get all those touches? Let's head over to the phone lines and see what's popping. Come on, somebody.
E.T.
What they do, baby?
Jacksonville, baby. Jacksonville, baby. Come on, somebody.
Come on, everybody. Appreciate you, Byron.
Come on, everybody. Let's go, Jags. E.T., it's your boy, Dell.
What's good with it, Dell?
Please don't sleep on Dare Ogunbowale.
You know something I don't know, fam?
You know what Herb said when he first saw Dare break someone's ankle?
Talk to me.
Herb said, ooh.
No, he did hit him with the ooh. Come on, somebody.
What's up, E.T.? It's your boy, JK3, man.
Big steppers in the bitty.
Now that Etienne's out, I think we need to go ahead and give all those carries to my boy, James Robinson.
I ain't gonna lie, Kellum. I thought you was gonna say all those carries need to go to your boy, E.T.
Let's get him over another 2,000 yards this year. Duval!
I could go for that. Come on, somebody.
What's up, E.T., man? This your boy, DRT, man.
Hey, DRT. Why are you whispering, bruh?
Man, I can't get hype right now because I'm on the work phone.
As long as you know that I'm not responsible for if your boss hear this, and I hope he hear this.
But man, I want to see Chanel, the vote. Take it to the house, baby.
That makes two of us, my G. To the easy.
Hey, man. Hey, we need to see from the sky, man. So let's do it. Let's get a Duval for Chanel, the vote.
You better not Duval on them people work phone. You know how us Jacksonville people get. When we hear one Duval, it's like a chain reaction. A domino effect, baby.
What's up, boy? E.T., this your boy Rudy, man, all the way in San Diego, dog.
What's going on, brethren?
Hey, I just want to go ahead and get a big shout-out right now to my dog, E.T., the best mother. Ooh, I can't curse on here.
You better not, because I know Miss Felicia listening.
We got to get your boy Chanel involved. And you know who else we got to get involved? Tavon Austin. I really think he'll be a real nice addition to this offense, man. Hey, and before I go, I got to get this out real quick.
Talk to me.
Duval!
Come on, somebody.
All right, E.T., it's DJ WizKid.
Told you the big steppers were in the biddy. WizKid, what's happening?
I'm not even worried about Etienne being hurt.
You've always been the glasses half full type of guy. I can respect that.
If we gonna lose, we gonna lose. If we gonna win, we gonna win.
I could not have said that better myself. Appreciate you, WizKid. Keep spinning them hits. Nothing but the hits. Nothing but them hits. Appreciate everybody who called in, but it's game time, baby. Come on, somebody.
Great stuff from E.T. again this week. Be careful on the work phones, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fantastic. You can call in and be a part of next week's or 2 weeks from now show, 904-207-7071. We're just getting started on the Publix Tailgate show ahead of preseason week 1 and coming up at 10:35.
Culture of excellence, maximizing the player's value. That's why we're here. So I definitely see the similarities, which why I'm excited. I mean, when I came on my interview and talking to him, I'm like, man, this guy sounds just like, the guy I just left in B-More.
This Jaguars outside linebackers coach Zach Orr comparing the cultures in Baltimore and Jacksonville. But up next, we'll hear from Jaguars preseason TV analyst Bucky Brooks live in Dallas to get us ready for preseason week 3. Jags Cowboys coming up, and it's the Publix Tailgate show on Jaguars Radio.
You're beyond busy. Between work and the kids, the dogs and the cat, let us help. With Publix Delivery powered by Instacart, you'll get the items you need from the store you know. Just shop online, select the time you'd like your order delivered, and grocery shopping is done, giving you more time to take care of everything else.
Publix Delivery, powered by Instacart. Visit Publix.com/delivery to shop now. That's Publix.com/delivery. Item prices vary from in-store prices. Service fees may apply. Available in select zip codes. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
A lot has changed in 60 years, but there's one thing that remains the same. Our commitment to our customers and to our community. There's no place like Jacksonville, and there's no place like Gate. Thank you for allowing us to serve you, past, present, and future. Now through August 31st, Jags fans can enjoy 2 of your favorite roller grill items for just $2 at participating Gate locations. Get them while they're hot. Gate, serving up more.
That sound is every driver's worst fear. How much will the repairs cost? Is it your engine, your transmission, or worse? A car breakdown could cost you thousands to repair, but not if you have CarShield. CarShield administrators pay your claims directly to the mechanic or dealer of your choice, saving you time and money. Call CarShield today before your next breakdown. Call 800-471-1223, 800-471-1223.
As J-Tech continues to train tomorrow's technicians right here in Jacksonville and supply them throughout the Southeast, they wanted everyone to know that they are the biggest Jaguars fans around. J-Tech is super excited about this season. They are equally excited about the $6.8 million improvement of their facility and the program growth in auto, diesel, HVAC, marine, and RV programs. Come check them out on the south side of Jacksonville or visit online at jtech.org.
At ViStar, we believe in better convenience, so members can bank any way they want, whether it's at a branch, on a mobile device, or at one of more than 20,000 surcharge-free ATMs across North America. Because we believe that people have better things to do with their time. If you believe that convenience is better, join ViStar. Visit ViStarCU.org. All loans subject to approval, insured by NCUA.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Jaguars Game Day is presented by ViStar Credit Union. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. The Publix Tailgate Show continues. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. The Jags and the Cowboys coming up at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. 1 o'clock the kickoff time in preseason week 3. 1:07 officially, Mike. Time now for our weekly visit with Jaguars preseason television analyst Bucky Brooks joining us from Arlington, Texas. And good morning, Bucky.
What's going on, fellas?
Hey, we can hear Bucky.
We got Bucky this week.
Fantastic.
It's great.
He looks good. He sounds good.
We're ready for football in preseason week 3, and let's start off with all the quarterback news this week, Bucky. I mean, Trevor was named the starter. Gardner gets shipped off to Philadelphia. That's a lot of movement in 1 week.
Yeah, a lot of movement in 1 week, but if anyone was really paying close attention to the Jaguars, their practices, and the preseason games, you saw how Trevor Lawrence was kind of separating himself from Gardner Minshew. And then we saw how C.J. Beathard came on like gangbusters during the preseason game. So it was a matter of time before the Jaguars had to make a move at the backup quarterback spot. They just elected to move on from Gardner Minshew rather than demote him. But I think it's actually a win-win for the team because I do believe C.J. Beathard has earned the right to be the second quarterback.
So, Bucky, with the offensive line in the state that it is today with as many injuries as they have, you're probably down 2 of your top 3 receivers. How much, if at all, are you playing Trevor Lawrence? How much chemistry can he develop with his guys if his primary guys are not out there?
You know, and having a conversation with Urban Meyer prior to the game, he talked about he just wants to see this offense get in rhythm. So as long as it takes for this team to go up and down the field and maybe score a touchdown, I think that's how long we'll see Trevor Lawrence play. Now, I say that knowing that it will be done within reason, but he wants the offense to feel good heading into the regular season opener. You want to have some kind of momentum that you can kind of build upon during the week of practice before you play the Houston Texans.
Bucky Brooks with us from Arlington, Texas. The Jaguars and the Dallas Cowboys coming up a little after 1 o'clock today. Travis Etienne is no longer part of this football team this year. He's out. He's done after the foot injury. And the conversation all week, Bucky, has been, what are they going to do now to fill those roles? There's a number of different guys that you could plug and play, and maybe some guys aren't even on the roster yet that could do some of the things, but it doesn't feel like you're going to find one guy to do everything they had planned for Travis Etienne Jr.
No, but I think there are enough versatile athletes on their roster where they can make up for some of the production that we lost with Travis Etienne on the sideline. When you think about a guy like Laviska Shenault, who played a similar role while he was at Colorado, I think it's about getting him more touches on the perimeter, more bubble screens, more jet sweeps, maybe even an occasional touch from the backfield. He can play a big role. Tavon Austin is another guy who can also play in that role in terms of his ability to do the jet sweeps, the gadget plays, and some of the other stuff. And I think you will continue to try and find creative ways to put the ball in the hands of your playmakers in the best positions on the perimeter.
Bucky, the safety spots, Rayshon Jenkins has got one of the starting spots locked up. They still has 4 co-starters at the other spot with Josh Jones, Jared Wilson, Rudy Ford, and, of course, the rookie Andre Sisco. Who do you think emerges and opens the season at least as the starter at strong safety?
I'll keep an eye on Andre Sisco. I think Andre Sisco has the instincts and awareness to be a big-time playmaker on this defense. And you have to keep in mind he's coming off of that season-ending knee injury that he had a year ago at Syracuse. But at Syracuse, this guy got his hands on a ton of balls. He has great instincts and awareness, and that is what is going to be critical. But I believe the Jaguars are going to be solid in terms of stopping the run. That means more teams are going to have to take to the air. You want a ball hawk at one of those positions. I believe Andre Sisco is the best player for the job.
We were hearing from Joe Cullen earlier, Bucky, about this position especially and their contributions on special teams, and then what this defense could use in terms of a dime package from time to time. If you have enough talented back-end players to come in and play that can come down and play in a linebacker-type role as a safety, that helps you fill out that package at least. And then a guy like Rudy Ford, right, is here because of his special teams past. But if he can come in and do a few different things, you might not have to make as many cuts there as the numbers might indicate.
Yeah, no, two things. One, when you're talking about the starters, that's one thing. But then when you talk about the backups need to be key special teams players. Urban Meyer has placed a premium on the special teams and the kicking game being a big part of why the Jaguars will win. So I'd expect the best special teamers to be on the field. Now, when it comes to filling out those sub packages, it's about finding the right roles for all of the backups. So if you want to put 6 DBs on the field, which guys are stout enough to kind of play as those hybrid linebacker types? Which guys have pass rush ability that can blitz from the second level? As you begin to get real creative with this defense, Joe Cullen wants to be able to have a lot of weapons at his disposal and as many, as I call, little guys as he can put on the field to blitz and run around and make things confusing for the quarterback, the better. But it's about finding enough guys that can also hold up in the run and make good tackles against big running backs.
All right, Bucky, since we mentioned special teams a few times, Josh Lambo has been the most accurate kicker in the NFL since he's come to Jacksonville, but it hasn't been the case throughout the preseason so far. Missed 3 reportedly from 40 yards or less in practice to close things out on Thursdays, missed a couple in the preseason games. I've seen him miss some in the practices I've attended. Are you concerned right now as he's the only kicker they're carrying on the roster?
Well, I think you have to be concerned because kickers are much like golfers. When they kind of tend to begin to miss, it takes them a while to pull out of it. And so as you're watching him in practice, if he's consistently missing in practice and missing in games, then it's time to kind of have an eye towards finding somebody else. You give him every opportunity to work through it just because of his resume. But, man, week 2, week 3, week 4 of the regular season, if he's missing, I think you then have to pull the plug and see if you can find another guy that can knock it through the uprights consistently.
Bucky Brooks with us from Arlington, Texas. The Jaguars and the Cowboys coming up. What surprises you have on TV today, Bucky, since you had a week off last week?
Well, I mean, no surprises, but I got to get 2 weeks of conversation in doing a preseason game, so I got a lot to unpack. But I think the one thing is Jaguar fans don't need to panic so much about what's going on in the preseason. There's been a lot of outside noise about the collegiate methods of Urban and is this going to work and all this other stuff. We haven't got to the regular season yet, so we can't even make these blanket statements. Hold on. It's just an exhibition. We will see what the Jaguars have when we get to the regular season.
Tap the brakes, he says, Mike.
That's what he says.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
It's tough to do in this instant gratification world we live in, Bucky. We want it now.
It is tough to do, but, like, here's the thing. We're talking about a guy who has won at every level. He's orchestrated turnarounds at every spot that he's been in. And we're talking about, oh, my gosh, it's not going to happen after 2 preseason performances. I understand it hasn't always been pretty, but what you have to figure out is everybody has a different agenda when they're working in the preseason. Some teams are playing their starters. Other teams are not. Some teams are trying to figure out what plays they like and don't like and those things. And then you have the Jaguars who are orchestrating a full rebuild until we get to the games that really, really count. Not that the preseason doesn't matter, but until we get to the ones where they really keep record and score of, we don't really know what the Jaguars have, and you have to give Urban Meyer time to put in his plan in this process.
Bucky, great stuff as always. Have a great call today on the game on CBS 47 here in Jacksonville with Brian Sexton. We'll talk to you a little later, Buck.
For sure, we'll do. Have a good one, guys.
Bucky Brooks out of here. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of people anxious about what's going on right now. That's just how it is. Fans are going to fan. And they should.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, I mean, your first team offense hasn't put the ball in the end zone, you know, over a couple of games, and
a few injuries now. Yeah.
Right. I mean, you know, so. You know, until that is proven, I mean, people are not patient, JP. They want it all now, or at least they want something to feel good about, so hopefully we'll get that this afternoon.
Plenty ahead on the Publix Tailgate Show coming up at 10:48.
Yes, sir. They call me Little Pit Bull because, you know, I got that dog in me.
It is the Little Pit Bull. Cornerback Chris Claybrooks explaining some new roles for him on defense. But up next, we'll hear from Jaguars outside linebackers coach Zach Orr, formerly of the Ravens, giving us his comparison between the Ravens and the new-look Jaguars and much more. the Jaguars and the Dallas Cowboys at 1 o'clock. And from TIAA Bank Field, this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
Everyone's so busy keeping up. Forget about the Joneses. We all on our telephones with the texts and the tweets and the beats. What he said, she said, can't even follow the thread. Down the hole, we all go. Me, I like keeping up too, with my Corona and my attitude. That's La Vida Más Fina.
Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer. Imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk. Checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk. Checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
We've seen it 1,000 times. Insurance companies using the same tired excuses not to pay. They'll say you're really not hurt, or that your injury is from an old accident. That's why it's so important to hire a law firm who has their own medical experts, who know how to fight excuses with facts. When they bring excuses, we bring the truth. And truth is power. Farah and Farah. Here for you, here for good. Jacksonville.
The Dick's Wings and Grill family of restaurants is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They invite you to stop into one of their area neighborhood grills where you can count on fresh quality wings where you call the flavor. At Dick's Wings and Grill, their menu has a food and flavor for everyone in your group. If you prefer delivery or online ordering, just visit dickswingsandgrill.com. Every Dick's Wings and Grill is locally owned and operated. Dick's Wings and Grill, winging it since 1994.
Nothing kicks off your game better than a handful of Georgia peanuts. Power-packed with protein, essential nutrients, and great taste, Georgia peanuts are the MVP for affordability, sustainability, and nutrition. To score life's touchdowns with recipes and fun facts, check out GAPeanuts.com. The perfectly powerful peanut is brought to you by the family farmers of the Georgia Peanut Commission.
Peanut! Get your peanut!
The Publix Tailgate Show continues. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. The Jaguars and the Dallas Cowboys in preseason week 3 with a 1:07 kickoff time at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Check out the official Jaguars podcast network. It's a free subscription on Apple iTunes, Spotify, or wherever else you download your pods. Give us that 5-star rating and some comments. Had a chance to sit down with Zach Orr this week. The outside linebackers coach had about a 3 or 4 year career as a linebacker in the NFL with the Ravens. Has worked his way, at least with the Ravens, not as an assistant coach, starting his career around the coaching staff there. This is actually his first official coaching job, and he's got a lot of good guys to work with at outside linebacker for the Jags, Mike.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, they're going to need – this is a position of critical importance going to a 3-4 defense is where your primary pass rush is supposed to come from. And Joe Cullen obviously knows a lot about him, and, that gives you the confidence that he feels like he's going to be able to translate the, decisions that he has and the techniques and the different aspects of the defense to the players that ultimately Cullen is responsible for coaching. So, guys got to start somewhere, JP, and I think players can relate to a guy who's played the position, especially in recent years.
Let's hear from Zach Orr, the Jaguars outside linebackers coach. In 2016, week 3, You got an interception off Blake Bortles with like 35 seconds to go to seal a 1917 Ravens win over the Jags here in Jacksonville. Not that anybody remembers that, but welcome. It's nice to see you.
Nice to be here, man. Glad to be in Jacksonville and be a Jaguar.
We're glad to have you here for sure, and you've got a lot of great guys to work with at that outside linebacker spot. New kind of scheme on the depth chart, at least this year in Jacksonville, so some guys are doing some different things. Let's start with the guys outside at the top of the depth chart right now. Josh Allen, Caleb Chason. They were down last year. Now they're up a little bit and can do a lot of different things. Their skill set, I think, gives you a lot of versatility and options.
Oh, yes, man. I mean, both of those guys, they were first-round picks for a reason. You know what I mean? They're very versatile athletes, so they could do a lot of different things. So that's what we try to do in this defense that, Joe Cullen's installing in Jacksonville is, just be versatile and multiple. And, the more you can do, the better. So offense can get a jump on you. And definitely Josh and Caleb are two guys who are very versatile. They can stand up, get in the three-point stance, can drop, rush. They can do all those type of things. So we're just trying to maximize the player.
You always hear about the pass rush guys. They can get up the field, have a couple moves, all that. But the point you just made about dropping in coverage, not everybody can run backwards, right?
No.
That's a skill set that not a lot of guys have. How good are they at that, covering guys?
They're very good. They're very good. I was very impressed even just watching a little bit last year. This year we're asking them to do a little bit more of that, but just watching them last year move around and once getting here, taking them through individual drills and watching them in practice. I mean, those guys are, two of the best athletes on the field, and not just those two guys, but a lot of the outside backers. And, it's a very difficult thing to do. Like you said, it's not easy, especially at that size. I mean, we're talking about guys who are 6'3", 6'4", 250, 260 pounds, running with tight ends, running backs, and dropping in coverage. But it's something that you have to do. You have to keep the offense off balance, man. If they just know what you're going to do all the time, this guy's going to always rush, then they can kind of peg you and get a jump on you. So we always try to keep them guessing.
Zach Orr with us, outside linebackers coach. Take us into Josh Allen's head. I think he has his mind together and right. He always seems to, but take us in the room with him now since you've had some time with him.
I mean, Josh is he's a very detailed guy, man. He does have his mind right. He attacks every single day with a purpose to get better, and he does. I honestly believe that. And in the meeting room, he's always asking questions. If somebody else asks a question, he knows the answer. He always helping them out. So the great thing you want to see from one of your best players is they always want to learn and get better. And he's his biggest critic, which is a good thing, so nobody can get on him as hard as he gets on himself. And he attacks a day, man. I mean, I'm expecting a big year. He's done it before and everything like that. He has some injuries, stuff you can't control, but he's attacked this offseason, this summer, this training camp the right way and everything like that. So we're really excited about Josh. He's definitely one of our top players, and we expect him to have a big year this year.
Got some veteran guys behind them, too. Laurenti McCray knows Urban from the old days at Florida. That's how long he's been around. Jihad Ward's been in the league for a minute.
Yeah.
And you got some babies in there, too. Jordan Smith, your rookie coming in.
Yep.
That's a wide variety of experience in your room.
Yeah, yes, it is. Overall, it's just a real young team, but it's good to have, the vets that have been around like Jihad Ward, Laurenti McCray, Smoot even. It's great to have those guys around just to help lead. Even guys like Josh Allen and Caleb Vaughn, those guys only going in their second and third year. And then obviously the young guy, Jordan Smith, who we, expect to do good things for us as well. So it's great having those guys in there. It's a great variety, great mixture. The young guys, they bring some juice. The vets, they've been around those vets that you just mentioned. We all call them they dogs. They tough, physical guys. So they kind of help show the young guys, the ropes and how to do the things like that. And then obviously, you got Josh and Casey who are first-round picks that's trying to, establish themselves, as premier players in this league.
This is the final chance for guys to put something on tape this week. As a player, you were an undrafted player, so I'm sure earlier in your career this was an anxious week for you.
Yeah.
What do you tell guys on a week like this that may or may not be here after Tuesday?
Man, I tell guys, let it rip, man. Just let it rip. Just play fast and physical. If you play fast and physical and you go down and knock somebody's, I don't know if you can say his head off, it's going to be somebody that's going to like you. In worst case scenario, you want to be on somebody's practice squad. So you got to put yourself in a position where somebody, wants to have you. And by doing that is first and foremost is giving great effort. When you first turn on the film now, especially me being a coach now, seeing that, I'm like, man, a lot of people don't play with effort like how you would think at this level. So when somebody does that, it stands out. And then, obviously you're not just trying to make this team, but you're trying to make 31 other teams. So you always have to take the approach like, look, I'm going to put myself in a position where somebody's going to at least want me on their practice squad where I can develop and, hopefully be on somebody's 53-man roster. So I just say let it rip, man. Just play fast and physical. You can't be scared out there thinking about, if I'm going to mess up or anything like that, because when you think, you stink. That's what we always say, and you're going to mess up. So just go fast and let it rip.
I'm going to steal that from you, by the way. Zach Orr with us, outside linebackers coach. Final thought here. You spent your playing career and some of your coaching career in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. It is a model organization. They do things the right way there. We went and visited them a few training camps ago and, practiced against them for a week. Everything's first class. Yeah. Everything seems to run smoothly. Mm-hmm. There's great leadership there. Yeah. Are there some of those traits in this organization with the new regime, Urban Meyer setting the culture and everything? Are there things that you saw in Baltimore that are starting to grow up here?
Yes. I mean, first and foremost, Baltimore is a first-class organization like you mentioned and everything like that, from the top, from the owner all the way down. And I do see those traits here, starting with, Mr. Khan and everything all the way down. And Coach Harbaugh and Coach Meyer are very, very similar. It's crazy how similar they are.
Really?
They're both real competitive. Like, they're two of the most competitive people I've been around. They have different sayings, but it all means the same thing. And then another thing is just like in Baltimore, you worked your butt off, and that's what Coach Meyer does here. Practice and everything like that. Players are working their butts off, and that's going to pay off. The hard work is truly going to pay off. It's not just a cliche and anything like that. And then always trying to do what's best for the player. In Baltimore, it's always how can we get the best out for this player and make him the best player he can be. And that's all Coach Meyer talks about. Culture of excellence, maximizing the player's value. That's why we're here. So I definitely see the similarities, which why I'm excited. I remember when I came from my interview and talking to him, I'm like, man, this guy sounds just like, the guy I just left in Be More. So, and obviously, Coach Meyer's track record speaks for itself, and I think it's on its way here in Jacksonville for sure.
I can tell you're excited. You
got
all fired up.
I'm pumped up, man. You got me going. I'm pumped up. I'm excited.
Good luck to you. Appreciate your time. Great to meet you.
Appreciate it. Go Jags.
Zach Orr, if you think you stink, Mike.
We have no issues then. No one's going to accuse us of stinking, JP.
No, we're thinking.
That was a good line.
That's right. I love that. His excitement level is there. You could tell he's excited to be an NFL assistant coach officially for the first time in his career, and he's got some great guys to work with and the environment. And, his career ended short. He had like a spinal, I think, condition that ended his playing career. And he understands what this weekend's about, too, for a lot of these guys. He was an undrafted player going through the final preseason game, having to earn his keep and find roles, so he totally gets it.
Well, it's not just here you're playing for. You're looking to impress some employer out there. There are 31 other organizations, and as he said, at a minimum, you want to be on somebody's practice squad, right? If you're one of those last cuts down to get to the 53. And also, you mentioned with his shortened career, I mean, he can impress upon these guys that, look, nothing's guaranteed to you tomorrow. You got to take advantage of these opportunities that are in front of you right now. That includes a guy like Kayvon Chason, first-round draft pick last year. I don't know what's expected of him, but I know a lot is needed out of him here in year 2 at that position.
There's no doubt about that. Yeah, big jump up this year from Kayvon would be big. Josh Allen, not available today, still on the COVID-19 list, so he won't be around in this game. So you're going to see some deeper guys on the depth chart today at this position, too.
Well, I mean, they've got to develop some options there as well. I think, as far as one guy you're not going to be too worried about, Josh Allen would be pretty high on the list. Even though he didn't have a great year last year, we know the potential that he showed in his rookie season. So he's no doubt their top pass rusher. Circle that in ink going into the season.
If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, then look no further than Ford F-150. Loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between, this truck makes tough look easy. No wonder it's the official truck of the NFL and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. When we return, second-year cornerback Chris Claybrooks explains the new positions he's learning on defense, and another hour of the Publix Tailgate show starts at 11 o'clock. We'll have today's top headlines heading into preseason week 3, and much more. 1 o'clock, the kickoff time for the Jags and the Dallas Cowboys, and this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
Yingling Traditional Lager, the beer for drinkers who know how to tap into their inner eagle and spread their wings. So prepare yourself for takeoff and let your night take flight.
Liftoff.
When your lips meet that cold, crisp amber lager, there's no looking back. So fly over the radar. Tonight's about the lager, and this lager is all about soaring higher. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings. DJ Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please drink responsibly.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the SUVs of the future for everyone. Like Ford Escape, Edge, or Explorer. All named 2021 IIHS
Hi,
top
we're at
safety
Cherry's.
picks with specific headlights. One of the many reasons why Ford has the freshest lineup of SUVs in America. Because the SUVs of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford SUVs. Drive one today. When equipped with available LED headlamps based on AutoSource Incorporated data obtained on 10520.
Hi, folks. Frank Frangie here to tell you where to find the most authentic Southern Pit barbecue in all of Jacksonville. That's right, Bono's. For 72 years, Bono's has been smoking real pit barbecue right here on the First Coast. Smoked for hours, served in minutes, and always cut to order. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at TIAA Bank Field. Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you want great barbecue, head to Bono's today. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
How far should we go? When it comes to the health of children, we will stop at nothing, focusing on prevention as much as cures. Working with community leaders, educators, policymakers to make every child's world a place for them to thrive. Going to the nth degree and beyond. Nemours Children's Health, well beyond medicine. Join the journey at nemours.org/beyond.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh. She's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Jaguars Game Day is presented by ViStar Credit Union. The Publix Tailgate show continues from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey. The Jaguars and the Dallas Cowboys coming up at 1:07 officially in preseason week number 3. Time now for our Baptist Health Visit with a Player. Baptist Health, changing health care for good. And Mike, Chris Claybrooks now into year number 2. He was drafted here as a corner, obviously, but a return specialist. Had a little bit of time back there last season, and now going into year number 2, special teams guy and trying to find a role in this cornerback room.
Well, that's the thing. It's a crowded cornerback room right now. You've got a lot of high draft picks, recent free agent signings, a guy who returns like Sidney Jones, who impressed in a short amount of time last year. It's a tough climb up that depth chart. He has the one thing that Urban Meyer covets maybe over anything else, and that's speed. He has tons of it. He can be your primary kickoff return guy, although I think Jamal Agnew will hold both the kick and punt return jobs to open the season, JP. But there's a chance that, with Etienne being out, that Jamal Agnew could play a larger role on offense, and that might reduce, some of those return opportunities for him on special teams. So we'll see. I don't think it's 100% lock that Chris Claybrooks makes this team, but he's got a couple of different paths to relevance.
Let's hear from Claybrooks, a 7th-round pick a year ago out of Memphis. Give us the day-to-day life in the building under Urban Meyer. How does it feel?
It feels good, really, because he just want like one goal, like go fast, learn your assignments, and just take care of your body. For real, he real big at take care of your body, rejuvenate, and just just +2 and attack the day. So he been really helpful to us, and I'm glad to have him as a coach.
Is there a long line for the rejuvenation stations?
A little bit, so you got to come early. But, like, sometimes it be open, so you just get in, get out, and just take care of your body and stuff.
Take us through your camp so far. How do you think you've performed on defense to start there?
I'm doing good. You know, like, I'm learning, like, nickel and, like, outside as well. Because, like, last year I was playing outside. Mm-hmm. So this year, you know, I got like, new roles, so I'm playing, like, nickel. So I'm doing good. You know, I'm still learning, like, day by day. But other than that, man, just, you know, just balling out, just taking care of what you got to do, and just be in the playbook. I study the playbook in and out, so I know what to do when it come on Sunday. So it been really good for me.
Former cornerback here, Aaron Colvin, said that if you're a nickel corner, you have to have some dog in you. Is that right?
Yes, sir. They call me Little Pit Bull because, you know, I got that dog in me always.
I love it. Chris Claybrooks is with us, Jaguars cornerback. Special teams a big part of it too, right?
Yes,
and
sir.
Take us through what you've done on teams so far. Where do you shine in those groups?
Like, I should be at the top because, like, I take that very serious because, like, they drafted me to be, like, the special team guy. So ever since then, like, they drafted me, I take it very serious. And, you know, like, I'm in, like, the special team home coach office. I'm talking to the guys. Like, I feel like I'm a big part of it. So, you know, I'm gonna keep doing it until they, you know, take me off. But like, I feel like I play like big role in special teams.
Chris, this is the last chance to get some things on tape, not only for you, but a lot of guys on this team, right? And who knows what's going to happen in the week ahead? Things change at the end of a preseason. What is the approach for, you know, guys that know they have to get something on tape to make it football team? And do you feel like you're in that situation right now?
I feel like you gotta, like, attack the day. So, like, when you go home today, just be in the playbook. Mm-hmm. Like, know what you gotta do on Sunday because we're playing the Cowboys. So that's a good team. And like you said last time, put stuff on tape. So just, like, attack the day. Just go to your coaches, talk to, like, teammates, and just, you know, like, be the, like, student of the game for real. But for me, you know, like, I'm gonna take every year. Like, I gotta make the team. So. Because, like, I can't be, you know, loosen up then. I messed up on that, then, you know, then bad stuff happens. So I take a day every day, +2, 46, A and B, you know, with Coach Murray little statements. So,
we've heard those, yes.
Yes, sir, multiple times. So, yeah, man, like, I'm taking everything serious, you know, because I got a family to feed. So, like, it's a job in a business, so you gotta take it every day serious.
Final thought with you, there's a lot of new in that cornerback room this year.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, there's a lot of guys that came in here either from free agency or draft or whatever. Take us through some of those new faces, the veteran guys, a guy like Shaq Griffin who's come in. What have you taken away from Shaq, and what kind of impact has he made so far?
What's so crazy, me and Shaq got the same agent. So like me and him and my agent, we all been talking up for this moment. So that was so crazy about it. And, like, you know, like, we real close friends, and, like, man, just like learning from him, just, you know, going over his house, just, you know, just, like, studying the playbook, see how he handle things, like, go about his way, and like being a pro because he went to, like, the Pro Bowl. So, you know, just, like, learning tips from him, and, like, he big hit like part of our, like, defense. So, you know, I'm just learning him every day, just going by him, just how he take care of his body, how he eat right, and everything. But he can play, like, a big role in our defense.
Chris Claybrooks with us, Jaguars cornerback. Thanks for the visit. Really appreciate it. Good luck to you this Sunday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Chris Claybrooks, second-year player for the Jaguars, and that's a Baptist Health visit with a player. Baptist Health, changing health care for good.
Yeah, I think if they keep 6 corners, he's probably the most likely candidate for that last spot, right? Haven't heard much buzz about the other guys competing. I think the 5 guys, in terms of just cornerback ability, there's a clear 5 probably ahead of Chris Claybrooks right now, but he does bring you that speed that can be utilized in the return game and maybe on coverage as well. JP, he's going to have to make a mark on special teams to make this team.
Time now for our weekly commentary from Jaguars sideline reporter Rick Baloo. We call it, Has Rick Lost It?
All right, we're at Jerry's world, where the best decision Jerry Jones ever made was buying the Cowboys in '89 for $140 million today, worth $6.5 billion. The worst decision, the divorce with Jimmy Johnson. They were teammates together at Arkansas. And if you really look at Jimmy Johnson in Dallas and the Jaguars, it's interesting how his decision could have had an effect on Urban Meyer. Well, Listen up. 15 straight losses for the Jags, right? Jimmy Johnson went 1-15 in his first year in 89. Of course, he wins Super Bowls a few years later in 92 and 93. The egos, however, came into play. Both took credit for success. Jones is not only the owner, today he is also the general manager. He's always been the GM, but it was Jimmy Johnson who had final say on personnel decisions. During the 1993 season, Johnson was so upset he expressed interest in the Jaguars' expansion job to be a coach and general manager. He was tired of Jerry Jones' fourth quarter sideline visits, VIP locker room, celebrity guests who come in after victories less than 2 months after winning a consecutive Super Bowl. In a hotel bar with cocktails in the wee hours of the morning, Jones told a couple of Dallas reporters that there were 500 coaches who could have won a Super Bowl with our team. That was it. It was over. 27 years later, Jones admitted to his mistake, and he has apologized to Jimmy Johnson. Since the Super Bowl won by Barry Switzer in Dallas in 1995, the Cowboys only have 5 playoff victories, all of them during Wild Card Week, and that's right, they lost all 5 in the divisional round, nowhere near an NFC Championship game or a Super Bowl. So, what if Jimmy Johnson coached here? Would Jacksonville have gone to a Super Bowl? Would Jacksonville have won a Super Bowl? Would he still have the same relationship which he formed with Urban Meyer when both were working at the Fox network? Meyer talks openly about his relationship with Johnson, how they spoke often, how he took that deep dive, and Jimmy Johnson told him all the good, all the uncertain areas of becoming a head coach in the NFL. So anyway, makes me wonder, what if Jimmy Johnson was the coach here? All right, Tom Coughlin was the right decision, took him to a couple of AFC championship games and handed Jimmy Johnson his last loss ever as a coach in the NFL. But what about Urban Meyer? If Jimmy had gone a different route, would they have met at Fox? Would they have had this type of relationship? Would they have this friendship? Would Urban Meyer be the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Has Rick lost it? Rick Baloo, Jaguars sideline reporter. Interesting thought.
Yeah, some interesting, the way the histories intertwine those two there. And obviously Jimmy, according to Urban himself, played a big role in Urban deciding to accept this opportunity. Jimmy probably said, look, bro, if you're going to get back in, there's this guy Trevor Lawrence, and this is probably as good a timing as you're ever going to find. Take it.
PRI Productions, the official event production company of the Jags, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com. Up next on the second hour of the Publix Tailgate Show.
You feel this very refreshing vibe, this very kind human, very humble human, but at the same time, a guy who really does have a presence about him.
ESPN NFL reporter Jeff Darlington on being around quarterback Trevor Lawrence. And we'll have first rounds on us. We'll head to Dallas and visit with Tony Boselli and Jeff Lagerman. The Jags and the Cowboys at 1:07 Eastern Time. And this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
You're beyond busy. Between work and the kids, the dogs and the cat, let us help. With Publix Delivery powered by Instacart, you'll get the items you need from the store you know. Just shop online, select the time you'd like your order delivered, and grocery shopping is done, giving you more time to take care of everything else.
Publix Delivery, powered by Instacart. Visit Publix.com/delivery to shop now. That's Publix.com/delivery. Item prices vary from in-store prices. Service fees may apply. Available in select zip codes. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Headquartered right here in Jacksonville, CSI Companies is one of the fastest-growing workforce solutions companies in the nation. As a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI has the resources necessary to scale with any enterprise, yet they are small enough to maintain the agility, personal service, and remarkable experience they've become known for over the past 3 decades. This is your workforce and your business reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com to learn more.
At ViStar, we believe in better, especially in helping build a better financial future for our members. So we've reviewed our offerings from the ground up. We've lowered or eliminated over half our fees and enhanced our already competitive rates, saving members more than $1 million this year, in addition to the millions we save them every year. If you believe that saving money is better, join ViStar. Visit ViStarCU.org. All loans subject to approval, insured by NCUA.
You're working from home. So how do you connect with coworkers and clients? With RingCentral,
the #1 global communication solution for business. RingCentral makes talking, texting, collaborating, and video calls easy, and it's all on one platform. And when we say everyone should be connected, we mean it. It's why we're giving RingCentral free to educators, health providers, and nonprofits. Learn more at ringcentral.com. Welcome to the new RingCentral.
Hey Jaguars fans, are you ready to talk some trash? Well, nobody talks trash quite like Waste Pro, the official waste service and recycling partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Specializing in residential and commercial solid waste and recycling collection, processing, and disposal, Waste Pro is equipped to handle all your recycling and garbage removal needs. For service, call 904-731-7288. Waste Pro, caring for communities and caring for Jacksonville.
Veterans, you may have earned a variety of VA benefits. Did you know VA can help you further your education and pursue professional training? The Home Loan Guarantee Program can help you buy, repair, or adapt a home. VA provides housing support if you find yourself homeless or at risk of homelessness. And don't forget world-class health care. Learn more about these and other VA benefits. Visit choose.va.gov.
The Publix Tailgate Show continues right now.
Jaguars Game Day is presented by ViStar Credit Union. It's hour 2 of the Publix Tailgate Show, 2 hours away from kickoff in preseason week 3. The Jags and the Dallas Cowboys at 1:07 officially. Quarterback news this week: Trevor Lawrence named the starter. Gardner Minshew will be eating cheesesteaks in Philly. And there's a handful of injuries for this team right now. Urban seemed to feel this week that they weren't too major on the offensive line, at least, that most of those guys could be back for week 1, which is a good thing. So it's really more of out of a caution, it feels like right now, but you still haven't seen the starting offense find pay dirt yet. That would be a nice something to get done today, certainly in the last preseason game.
Yeah, I'd love to have it happen right away, right? I mean, just one drive, go down, and if that does, JP, I'm good with Trevor Lawrence. That's it enough. Honestly, I get it's a balance. You want to get him some rhythm, some work, but who are you getting him that work with? And granted, he'll be playing with backups at various times this year. Just that's the nature of football. But you've got your opener 2 weeks away here, and you've got an offensive line that may be down 80% of its starters today. And, you wonder, is James Robinson going to play, considering the importance of his role in this offense and the great season he's coming off of? We know DJ Chark won't be out there. Wouldn't suspect Marvin Jones is going to be out there. So what exactly are we building here with Trevor Lawrence? I mean, this is even a guy in Urban Meyer last week who said they wanted to limit the reps for Chris Manhertz because of the importance of his role in the blocking game, right? So, I mean, what are we doing here? If we get one good drive and the Jags get points on it, honestly, I would consider if they open up the game that way, maybe having that be enough for Trevor Lawrence. And granted, you can get hurt at any point in the regular season, but you have to play those games. Those games count. This one doesn't ultimately. It counts for development, but I think you have to weigh the cost against the benefits.
Game day weather is presented by roofclaim.com. Protection made simple. Currently 84 degrees in Jacksonville, a high in the high 80s today. Humidity 84%, but the sun's coming out, and that's good news here. In Dallas, the photos coming out of there earlier have the roof closed today at Etienne Stadium, so they'll be playing indoors. Let's get to today's top stories and playing time for the starters. Urban Meyer this week named 4 or 5 players that were regular season quote-unquote game ready.
I think it's all the position. What our job, the term that I've always used is game ready. Once someone's game ready, they're done. We're a young team right now. Linder to me is a guy that I'm not in a panic because I saw what he was like before he got hurt, and he's going to be 100% by game time. Marvin, I'm getting to the point where he's game ready. But other than that, it's a young team. It's a young team. Miles Jack, by the way, played outstanding. He's getting close to being game ready.
He listed Rayshon Jenkins as well a little later in his press conference. That, by my count, it was 4 out of 80. So.
Right. So it means we're probably going to see some of these guys continue the competition. But, Miles Jack is close to game ready. I mean, if Miles Jack isn't game ready, I don't know who's game ready for this football team, JP, coming off the season that he had last year. Maybe you'd like to see a few more reps for James Robinson, maybe Urban Meyer would. I would not. I'll be honest with you. I think coming off the performance he had last season, and again, the elevation of the importance of his role, he was going to be the starting running back regardless, but now you think a bigger role in the passing game, more overall touches here. He showed he could be a workhorse for most of the season last year, and if you want to ride him again, I would consider him game ready at this point.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you need to see some reps, just go turn on the tape from last season.
Exactly.
He got like 9,000 reps last year.
We don't have a lot of those guys that you go, hey, that tape from that 1-15 team shows you that they're game ready. James Robinson, Miles Jack, those are two guys I feel pretty good about.
The first team offense, or what's left of it today when they run out there, is still looking to put the ball in the end zone for the first time in preseason. 8 drives for Trevor Lawrence so far in 2 preseason games, and he's still looking for pay dirt.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating, but also we just got to stick together and keep playing. We're going to figure it out, and I'm really confident in that. So we got a bunch of guys that are putting the work in, and we're going to do everything it takes to get on the right track. So, I'm confident in that. I'm not worried. Obviously, you'd like to score more points than we have, for sure. But all stuff that we can build on, and we know what we need to get better at. So it's just a matter of doing it and going out there and practicing it.
He's so calming.
I was just going to say the exact same thing.
I'm good. How about that?
I feel like, it's been a week a little depressing. Let's be honest, right? You lose Travis Etienne, man. That's no fun for anybody, right? Our first-team offense yet to get a touchdown. And then you hear Trevor talking, and you're like, yeah, this guy has it, right? And if he's going to be this calm about it, and granted, he hasn't done anything in the NFL, but I do get more confidence every time he steps up to the microphone, JP. So let's hope he's right and everything's going to be just fine.
Let's go to the offensive line. They could be without 3 or 4 offensive linemen in today's game against the Cowboys, and that gives a player like second-year guard Ben Bartch an opportunity to get those important reps in games and practice as he develops. Either way, no matter who's out there today, the offensive line needs to be able to get push and run the football, according to Bartch.
In our room, there's a lot of hard workers, and everybody has really big goals, and everybody in our room wants to win really bad. And the way that we're going to do that is run the ball. So for us going forward, it's controlling what we can control every single day, our film study, our communication, our work ethic in the weight room. And we just control that.
They'd like to run the ball, but they weren't effective in running the ball last week against New Orleans. That was Urban Meyer had made that point immediately in the postgame.
Right, and I know what Urban said as well. He said, look, no matter who's out there, we have to be able to run the ball. In other words, there are going to be times when you're not full strength on the offensive line, and that's not an excuse. You still have to get the job done. But I think the thing I want to hang my hat on, JP, is that the same offensive line that's projected to open the season healthy, starting 5, helped propel James Robinson to a 1,400-yard season in terms of yards from scrimmage, and he did that in 14 games last year. So we know they've gotten it done. And in a circumstance where when you're 1-15, man, you can't just load up and you get on a roll running the football because they're behind so much in the second half. He was a weapon no matter at what point in the game. So that's the one thing I feel like they've shown that they're able to do when they're at full strength. Let's get them to full strength, and let's keep them at full strength.
Final cuts coming up Tuesday from 80 down to 53 players on the roster by that day. And running back Dario Ogunbowale has been on that roster bubble before, battling through a number of transactions early in his career. He gave some advice this week for players feeling that anxiety.
Like you said, it is a stressful time. I mean, a lot of guys, futures, careers are at stake. But at the end of the day, I mean, we've been playing this game for a long time, so I just remind guys just to have fun. You know what I'm saying? You play your best when you play free. You make the most plays when you're having fun. So I think that's usually the message that I give guys, especially going into the last preseason game, just because it's easy for your mind to just wander into some negative places. But at the end of the day, it's football, bro. We all trying to just make plays and have fun the same way we were when we were younger playing football. So that's one thing I like to remind a lot of guys.
It is football, bro, and that's a great mindset. Go out and play, let it all hang out, and see what happens on Tuesday.
Yeah, some people get upset when, these players don't take it seriously enough. Well, I think what he's saying is we do take it seriously, but the way to get that peak performance is to treat it like the game that it's always been and to not make it more than it has to be. Dario Ogunbowale, obviously, with the injury to Travis Etienne, has a door swung wide open to him. He has got to have at least 1 foot in the clubhouse as the leader to be the third down pass catching back on this football team. So I'm interested. I think we'll see a lot of him out there today, and that is a little something you can maybe develop some Trevor Lawrence to Dario Gunbowale chemistry, throwing the ball out of the backfield, because I think that's going to be a big part of their attack, every aspect of the running backs this year.
We haven't heard a lot out of the tight end room lately. Obviously, Chris Manhertz is pretty much in bubble wrap in this preseason. James O'Shaughnessy's trying to get back to I mean, he's been out there, but he had some injury early in training camp, but they're expected to be the frontline guys. We did hear from Ben Ellefson this week, young player on this football team, and he explained how tight ends will be used on this offense.
Just with the different motions and sets that we have, we can be split out, we can be in line, 2 tight ends in the game, a tight end in line and 1, flexed out. We have the personnel to do that with James and with Chris, at the 1 and the 2 right now. So the possibilities are there. It's just a matter of what's going to fit us and finding that identity in our offense.
And this is a question mark of how many you keep on the roster, of course, come the final cut Tuesday.
A lot of speculation there'll be 3, and Luke Farrell, the rookie, would be going in there along with Manhertz and O'Shaughnessy. If it's 4, I think Ellison's got the edge for that last spot. One thing I want to note that he mentioned, they're talking about all the motion in this offense. Well, we haven't seen that in the first couple of weeks, and people are like, oh, man, this offense is so boring. It's so pedestrian. Well, maybe, just maybe, they don't want to show you what they have in store for you, and they're going as vanilla as possible, trying to build a little bit of chemistry. So, and I would say that's the same for their opponents as well, granted, but I would think just because you haven't seen something in the preseason doesn't mean the Jags are not going to try to unveil that in a couple of weeks.
Let's hear from Joe Cullen now, defensive coordinator for the Jaguars. He's been around the NFL for a long, long time as a defensive line coach, and it's a big day for a lot of players that are on the bubble to make this roster, and it's the last chance to put something on tape.
Every game, obviously, it starts with Coach Meyer, but, when these guys put the work in and when they put the effort in and they give you everything they have, it's tough. You wish you had a spot for all 53, and I had a thing today, and coaches talked about, what's the best effort you can put on tape. We'd love to keep everybody. It doesn't happen. But when you're a +2 guy, you give great effort. 31 other GMs are pulling that tape out right after when the wire cuts come. And when you give effort and you bust your tail, you're gonna find a home in this league.
And those are some of today's top stories ahead of the Jaguars and the Dallas Cowboys a little after 1 o'clock today. Earlier this week on Jaguars Drive Time, Thursday morning on Jaguars.com, ESPN NFL reporter Jeff Darlington joined Ashlyn Sullivan, John Oehser, and Brian Sexton to review his one-on-one with Trevor Lawrence before last week's Monday Night Football game and what he thinks the Jags could be in 2021.
Here in the building, we always talk about how confident, how poised, and really just how normal Trevor Lawrence is to have this spotlight on him. Did you get the same impression?
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. And it's exactly the way I felt. That was my first time meeting Trevor or being around him. And, when you actually get the chance to be in his presence, you feel this very refreshing vibe, this very kind human, very humble human, but at the same time, a guy who really does have a presence about him. And you could say, well, all 32 quarterbacks in the NFL probably have that. They really don't. There's something about Trevor that is this quiet confidence that, I dare say that the closest that it reminds me of, and this is going to feel like hyperbole, but it's Tom Brady, a guy who is so kind, so warm and friendly, but at the same time, you're like, damn, that's Tom Brady. You feel that with Trevor. You feel his presence. And I think that's meaningful, not only in an environment that we were in, but more meaningful in a locker room or a meeting room where you're going to get the attention of your teammates the second you walk in that room.
What are your thoughts on the Jaguars, Jeff? We talked about Trevor. I know you haven't gotten into them over here at training camp, but you've seen them a little bit.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts overall in the season?
Well, I'm very glad that he is now named the starter. I think that was slightly overdue in terms of just getting them first team reps. I felt that, talking to Trevor when we were sitting down, one of the things that he said was, I think that we can win faster than I think it doesn't take as long to get there as maybe other people do. And I've talked to Urban a lot about that, how we're going to win and we're going to win fast. We don't need to be on a 5-year plan. And that starts with the quarterback. Well, to that, I would say, and we now see it, like, okay, let's get there. If you're going to get there, you got to get those first team reps. Got to get that cohesiveness with the first team offense. You got to get that chemistry. That is more important to me than the benefit of pretending to try to convince a guy that he's got to earn the job. Trevor Lawrence earned that job the second he was drafted first overall. And I know we're past that. It's not a debate anymore. He's now the starter. I guess my point is, when it comes to the Jags offense, now we can start to see them get the chemistry that they're going to need to get, the identity. And again, I'm not overly worried about that either. I think that is what this time of year is for. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a team look good in the preseason, the opposite of this, and then they look like crap in the regular season. It's like you showed you were so worried about trying to look good in the preseason, and it's like, just get to the regular season, then show your cards, then create your identity. And sometimes that takes time too. It's a new NFL head coach. It's a new quarterback. These things take a little bit of time, and I think that's okay.
The full conversation with Jeff Darlington available on the official Jaguars podcast network, the podcast from Jags Drive Time Thursday.
Yeah, look, patience is what Jeff Darlington is trying to preach there, and you got to remember, this is a team coming off a 1-15 season. We didn't think that they were probably going to go 15-2 this year. At least I didn't. There's going to be some developmental stops and starts along the way, but at least they've got the raw material in the quarterback room.
The Daily's Place schedule coming up: Chris Tomlin, Carrie Job, and Bethel Music Tour September 3rd, Rod Wave September 9th, Sam Hunt September 10th, Trippie Redd September 18th, Santana's coming up a little later. Let's see, Alice Cooper's coming to town in October, Zach Brown Band. Great schedule coming up. Get your tickets at dailysplace.com. We'll return with First Rounds on Us. We'll head to AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas for our weekly visit with Jeff Lageman and Tony Boselli. The Jaguars and the Dallas Cowboys coming up at 1:07 Eastern, and this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
Hi, I'm Urban Meyer, head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call Florida Home Air Conditioning, my choice for heating and cooling.
For a limited time, Florida Home Air Conditioning will buy back your old inefficient HVAC system when we take up to $1,750 off your new heating and cooling system purchase. You get a new energy-efficient HVAC system for as low as $99 per month and up to $1,750 for your old system.
Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
A lot has changed in 60 years, but there's one thing that remains the same: our commitment to our customers and to our community. There's no place like Jacksonville, and there's no place like Gate. Thank you for allowing us to serve you, past, present, and future. Now through August 31st, Jags fans can enjoy 2 of your favorite roller grill items for just $2 at participating Gate locations. Get them while they're hot. Gate, serving up more.
When it comes to water, choose our team, the winning team. Choose CGC Water Treatment. CGC Water Treatment works, and it works for DG too, former Jags QB, David Garrard.
If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Discover the kinetical difference.
Call CGC Water Treatment at 844-CGC-JAGS or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Kinetico dealers.
How far should we go? When it comes to the health of children, we will stop at nothing, focusing on prevention as much as cures. Working with community leaders, educators, policymakers to make every child's world a place for them to thrive. Going to the nth degree and beyond. Nemours Children's Health, well beyond medicine. Join the journey at nemours.org/beyond.
Fans like you have been told that going all out is going too far. But fans like you know better. You're the kind of fan who loves the team as much as your pet. Who paints yourself for game days and dyes your pet's fur to match. Who bleeds the team's colors and buys your pet team-branded everything. Who plans every game day watch party for fellow sports lovers and their beloved pets, of course. You are a rare breed. You are a pet fanatic, equal parts pet obsessed and die-hard sports fan. At Pet Paradise, they're crazy about pets too. That's why pet fanatics take their pets to Pet Paradise. the official pet care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And they're ready to go all out for your pet. Pet Paradise. It's a new day in pet care.
From TIAA Bankfield in Jacksonville, this is the Publix Tailgate Show. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. It's preseason week 3, and the Jaguars visit the Dallas Cowboys today. Kickoff time officially at 1:07 Eastern Time. Time now for first rounds on us.
New York Jets, first round choice, Jeff Lageman.
Jacksonville Jaguars have selected tackle Southern California, Tony Boselli.
Jeff Lageman and Tony Boselli joining us from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. It's preseason week 3. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, JP.
Lageman. We're ready for some football today. Let's start off with the big news of the week. The quarterback news is now done. Trevor Lawrence is the starter. Gardner Minshew's eating cheesesteaks in Philly. How about all those moves this week?
Well, a lot of people may be wondering, well, how did he end up in Philly? Well, Dave Caldwell is now actually an employee of the Philadelphia Eagles. So interesting that they got a 6th-round pick for him, and the place that he ended up was where the former general manager is now an employee.
It could turn into a 5th-rounder, too, if he plays, I think, half of 3 games or something. Pretty low bar to get it to a 5th-rounder.
Which would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting something better than what you ended up giving up for him at the very beginning to get him.
Well, and I was surprised a little bit, Jeff, that they did get a 6th, conditional possible 5th-rounder just based on his performance in the preseason. I mean, it was not a great outing, and then he did not have a great year last year. Probably had something to do with Dave Caldwell, to your point. And good job by Trent Baalke, Urban Meyer to get what they could.
Yeah, hindsight. They're playing him a lot, competition, maybe trying to build up some value, and it didn't happen.
No.
And and glad to close that chapter. Now the chapter is all about Trevor Lawrence. He's the unquestioned starter. And
as he always was.
And yeah, exactly. And now he's getting the reps as he should. And it will be interesting to see how much they play him tonight for 2 reasons. One, just because, okay, let's say you had all of your offensive linemen out there, this past weekend or this past week here, we've been watching Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady playing quite a bit because you have 2 weeks leading up to the season opener to get ready and get healthy. But the Jaguars have possibly 4 out of their 5 starting offensive linemen missing for this last preseason game today. So what do you do? Do you still play him? I mean, that's an interesting question.
Well, he needs the reps. There's no doubt about that. And if there was no offensive line questions, I'd play him a half. I mean, just to get as many reps as possible. With 4 guys out, Jeff, I could make the argument I'd have him street close. I mean, you're going to have 4 backups protecting him. Now, the good news is all reports from Dallas is that 30 guys are sitting. Basically, every starter is not going to play. So at least you'll be working against backups.
But still.
It's still a risk, though.
JP, me and Tony were talking about it last night, and we're sitting there going, gosh, you want to get them the reps to get them ready. But at the same token, if you have one bad block by a backup offensive lineman, and it ends up causing a significant injury to your starting quarterback, you're going to look back and go, what was I thinking playing him?
So what's the final verdict then, guys? We know what the arguments are on both sides. Would you play him or not?
For me, I'd play him. And I would play him with the understanding that if I'm Urban Meyer, I'm having a long conversation with Darrell Bevel about what kind of plays we're going to run with our quarterback. And getting the ball out quick, making sure that he's moving to where he's not having to sit there in the pocket and rely on offensive linemen to give him great protection. I think that there's a way that you can do that. And here's the other thing. You go back and you look at Trevor Lawrence's performance in the past. You look at his performance so far in the preseason, and I'm a big believer in this. The great quarterbacks, which I believe Trevor Lawrence is going to be one, the great quarterbacks can protect themselves. They get rid of the ball in a hurry. They've got great pocket presence. But in the back of your mind, you're still sitting there thinking there could be that one incident. Tom Brady's a great quarterback. He had all those type of things, and then he had his knee blown out a few years ago, so it's still in the back of your mind.
Mike, to answer your question, with a lot of consternation, I'd probably lean and would play him. I don't want to play him without the backups, but I do think he needs reps, and you got to get ready for this season. And you have such a young team. You need guys out there working together, get on the same page. I'd be holding my breath. I'll be holding my breath in the booth today, just knowing that you're not having your front line guys out there. But I would probably play him, and I'd probably play him about a quarter.
It would help if they could run the ball effectively as well, guys. Tony Boselli and Jeff Lageman in Dallas, and that leads us into our UF Health Finding Solutions. Visit ufhealthjacks.org. They're one less running back now. Travis Etienne Jr. is done, so we're going to find some solutions of who fills those roles that he was expected to do. And, talking earlier this week, guys, it's probably not going to be just one guy. They're going to have to do a few different things, it feels like.
Well, I don't think they have anybody on the roster in the running back room who can fill the role that they had imagined him playing. Now, we have not seen it outside of a little bit of practice, but we have not seen the creativity that they talked about when they drafted him. It's a team, and I think, Urban talked a lot about getting faster and having more speed on the field. It's still not a team that has a lot of speed on offense, and Etienne was going to fill that role. You look at the running back room. James Robinson, not a speed guy. Very good back. I mean, he's your best back. Carlos Hyde, not a speed guy. Ogumbuale, not a burner. Zigbo, not a burner. I mean, so you don't have that, and that's what the role he was going to play. And so I wouldn't be surprised, as we get on Tuesday to the cut down, that they are in the market to try to find that scat back type of player.
Yeah, but you're just not going to find those types. I mean, the reality
I'm
is,
just saying they're going to look.
Exactly. You just can't replace a guy.
No, you're not going to.
Like Travis Etienne. I mean, he's a first-round pick for a reason. And a lot of people say, oh, well, what about Tavon Austin? Well, I mean, Tavon Austin's been a journeyman for a reason for the last 4 or 5 years.
And he's not a running back.
And he's not a running back. So, I mean, it's difficult. It is what it is, and that's the one thing about it. You can't all of a sudden just wave this magic wand and change the talent in 1 year. I mean, it takes time to acquire game breakers, and that's hard to find. I mean, first of all, your percentage of hitting with the draft is very difficult, but you just got to keep having the time, and you got to start hitting on some of those picks. And this team, it's going to take some time for it to get the weapons for what is going to be what we believe is going to be a generational quarterback.
They got to get faster on offense, Jeff. And, you hope when DJ Chark does get healthy that he brings some speed. But even DJ, while a straight line, fast player, good 40 time, not that change of direction, game breaking, speedster that puts the fear of, the fear in the defensive coordinator's mind of like, oh my goodness, I can't get beat over the top. And they just don't have that guy right now on the roster.
I don't think we found the solution, but that's UF Health Finding Solutions. Visit ufhealthjacks.org.
All right, guys, we've gotten a look at C.J. Henderson over the last couple of weeks. Do you project that he will open the season as the starter opposite Shaq Griffin, or do you think Tyson Campbell still has a chance to beat him out?
I think C.J. is going to be your starter, and that's a little bit concerning for me just because when you watch him play, it's a very unemotional play. And football is a game of passion. It's a game of intensity and focus. And, I mean, all these catchwords that you hear that are linked to the great game that it is. And he just is kind of participating in a little bit. And I hope that he can play at a high level because, look, I mean, if he doesn't show the great emotion, okay. Can he still give you a great performance? Sure. I haven't seen that to where guys that aren't loving it can play at a high level. I've never seen that.
Not consistently. I haven't either, Jeff. And I mean, I'm with Jeff. I think C.J. Henderson is your starter. Tyson Campbell, he's long, he has speed, but he does not. The book coming out of college is what we've seen. He struggles with the ball in the air and having situational awareness or really ball awareness more than anything. And that's going to be an interesting thing this season to watch because he has so much talent. And he is such a talented young man that you want to get him on the field. Can he get more comfortable? Because a lot of that, Jeff, in my opinion, is just being comfortable out in the heat of the battle and taking a deep breath and relaxing and making a play on the ball and we've seen him struggle in the preseason games.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope.
I don't know how you coach it.
And it's hard to coach because, I mean, typically that is something that a guy has or he doesn't, like Cisco. Cisco has unbelievable skills when the ball is in the air. Tyson Campbell might be the best cover corner that there is in the league as far as step for step and being in the guy's hip pocket. He's got unbelievable speed. He's got unbelievable length. But when it comes to the moment of
make
the play on the ball, that's something that he's fallen short a little bit.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
All right, guys, strong safety, the weekly checkup there. 4 number ones, again, on the depth chart. And this feels like a position where you could either keep an extra guy if he can contribute on special teams, a Rudy Ford type, bring him in a dime situation. How you feeling now at strong safety?
Well, I think it's great. I mean, you wish that every position that you had was like this and that you're going, oh, man, what are we going to do? I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, that's positive. That means that you have talent there. And I'm not saying this is unbelievable talent, but this is good, solid talent. Rayshon Jenkins, good player. Jared Wilson's been a starter in the past. And Cisco, I think, is going to be the guy ultimately. And Rudy Ford's a guy that's going to get some snaps as a linebacker, I think, in a dime-type situation. Daniel Thomas, even though he had an early out because he had some COVID issues, since he's been back, he's shown nothing but the good things that we saw when he played last year. He's a good young player. So, I mean, this is a positive. And it's a positive that you wish you had at all the other positions on your team.
Well, Jeff, somebody's going to be an odd man out. I mean, I don't think you're going to keep all those guys on the roster at the safety
I think you're going to be light at linebacker, so you may end up having a little bit heavy at safety.
Yeah.
All right, guys, Josh Lambo struggles in practice this week. We're documented. We've seen him miss a couple of kicks here in the preseason. Where are you on the Jaguars kicker?
Let me tell you, this is the life of a kicker. You're the man until you're not, and you got to make kicks. And nobody cares what you did the last, 3 or 4 years and how you're Mr. Automatic. We've seen outside of a very few kickers where the loyalty to that position is based on production 100%. And I think Urban Meyer is saying, hey, it's great that you've been Mr. Automatic all these years. I'm the coach now. I'm in charge. You better put him through the uprights or I'll go find somebody else who can.
It's concerning in the preseason, but you're not freaking out until the regular season and doing something that's going to change it up. You're going to give Josh Lambo the benefit of the doubt until he proves otherwise in the regular season. He will have a little bit of leash, so to speak, because he's proven that he is a high-level kicker in the past.
But, Jeff, you agree. I mean, that's the one position. I mean, you start missing a handful of kicks, they'll go find somebody else in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but with a guy that's proven it like he has, I mean, like I said, you got a little bit more leash.
How much leash does he have? Is it 2 games? Is it 5 games? Is it 8 games?
I think it could be. I mean, I don't know if that. We'd like to see what we're talking about. I mean, how many misses are we talking about in 3 or 4 games or whatever?
Let's say he's at,
If he's missed every kick in 3 games, he's out of there.
Right, but let's say he's 4 for 7 after 3 games.
I think he's still there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to give him a little benefit of the doubt. And maybe as a staff, you're looking back going, you know what, maybe we should have kept the competition going throughout training camp and kept the other kicker in.
Interesting.
No matter what happens, let's just hope it's not the kicking situation of last year with 17 guys or whatever were out here kicking for the Jaguars.
See, that's why I think you're giving him a little bit of leeway, JP. I mean, look at the alternative. You going to go back and start doing the merry-go-round of kickers again because what's available out there is not great, so you're going to have some patience to allow what has been an outstanding kicker to find his groove again.
He's been a rock star.
Absolutely.
I think there were officially 6 last year. We'll come back in just a moment. We'll get our players to watch in today's game at 11:50 today. It's senior writer John Ozier giving us his game preview. The Jaguars and the Dallas Cowboys at 1:07 Eastern Time, and this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
I'm Urban Meyer, head football coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. New Horizons call for renewed vision, enhanced clarity, and an unparalleled willingness to block out the noise and distractions around you and simply focus on achieving greatness. Because getting one step closer to define everyone's expectations isn't just about waiting for a window of opportunity, it's about creating it for yourself. It's about being a game changer, both on and off the field. And when we say we're all about renewal and achievement in Jacksonville, we mean it. That's why we've chosen to partner with Renewal by Andersen, official window and door replacement company of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Hi, I'm Tito Beveridge, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to Tito'sVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Patrick Basil of Basil Plastic Surgery and Wellness. I'm a proud veteran of the U.S. Navy, and during my active duty time, I had the amazing privilege to serve our country and those who were wounded in combat. Helping my patients return to a normal life, I was able to provide an unparalleled level of care, which I've carried over to my own private practice today. As the official plastic surgeon of the Jaguars, I invite you to visit us at patrickbasilmd.com and would like to wish the Jags best of luck in today's game.
Kessler Creative, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, has been a leader in direct mail for over a decade. Using the latest technology, Kessler Creative can now reach your ideal audience even more effectively. Choose between a collection of response channels from email and SMS texting to land pages designed to engage and initiate responses with potential customers. Kessler Creative, Jacksonville, Florida. Results-driven marketing and a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. The Publix Tailgate show rolls along. The Jaguars and the Cowboys coming up in preseason week 3, 1:07 Eastern time, official kickoff. The Jaguars PR department has announced 9 players will not dress for the Jaguars today. Marvin Jones Jr., wide receiver, an AC sprain in last week's game. He will not play today. DJ Chark still recovering from a hairline fracture in the middle finger of his right hand. He's been running routes in the practice field, though, in pads. That's good news. Tyson Campbell will not play in today's game. Tavon Austin, wide receiver, not available today. A quad strain, I think, was the official diagnosis on the practice field when he went down this week. Trey Herndon, not available today. Josh Allen on the COVID-19 list. He's out. A.J. Cann also on the COVID-19 list. Brandon Linder is out. Andrew Norwell is out. A name not on that list is Cam Robinson, by the way. We'll see if he jumps in there at some point today. Let's go back to AT&T Stadium. Frank Frangie joins Jeff and Tony now, and welcome in, Frank.
Hey, JP. How's everybody?
Well, doing well. It's time now. This would be the regular season fantasy pick segment. We're not there yet. We're a couple weeks away from getting that done. We pick a player to watch, or a player to click, if you will, in today's game. I'm going to go first so I get mine in.
Oh.
Dario Gumbawale. One more running back down with Travis Etienne now. And he has been in the position before of being on the bubble of a roster. He gets what the third preseason game is about. And, Mike, you made the point earlier, the door is open for him to step in and have a big day today. So I'm going with Dario.
Right off my notes and right off the top guy on my list right there. I see how you are.
Okay, well, go ahead.
It's okay. No, Dario Gumbawale was my top guy. So I will pivot to Jawan Taylor, who is the one starting offensive lineman that we know is going to play out there today, and he needs to play better than he has in the preseason at this point. And let's see if he can at least solidify that right side today, playing with some backup interior players, probably next to Will Richardson, I would imagine, at least to open the game at right guard. So I'm going to have my eye on Jawan Taylor to see if he can start living up to that high second-round draft pedigree.
Frank Frangie, state your case.
Well, I was going with Dare Ogunbowale, believe it or not. So there you go. I scratched that right off. Well done, boys. Chris Manners has got one pass. We are in an age when you have to have the tight end. Everybody uses the tight end in the NFL today. Chris Manners has one catch for 5 yards in the preseason, and nobody else has done very much either. I'm interested in what happens, JP, with that position. What happen? Can we get any production out of the tight end spot? So I'll start with the guy that's going to start every game, even as an inline tight end, and that's Chris Manners. I hope they get something out of that position.
Tony Boselli.
Well, I mean, everyone else wants to say I was going to go with Ogunbowale.
I really was.
I never was. I mean, come on. It's too easy. I'm going to go with a very difficult guy. No one's probably talked about much. I want to watch Trevor Lawrence, and I'm going to hold my breath the entire time, making sure that he gets out of this thing healthy. And I'm just excited to watch him continue to progress. I thought he progressed from week 1 to week 2. And just as he continues to get ready for opening day, something I'll be watching closely. And then on defense is, Jeff, we've talked about it.
You only get one.
No, I'm getting 2. They got to make more splash plays on defense. They're obviously much better against the run. But how are you going to get off the field? And so I'm going to watch Chase Young.
All right, I'm going to watch Daniel Thomas because that's part of that safety battle. I love his energy. I think he was the best performer on special teams last week. And if it comes down to do we keep Daniel Thomas or an Andrew Wingard, I'm keeping Daniel Thomas. I think this young man has some serious energy.
And he's a better safety.
Better safety and a better special teams player, in my opinion.
Tony, any special teams guys you want to go to, or are you good with just 2?
I'm going to go Josh Lambo. I mean, I want to see him make kicks. I mean, I'm with Urban. Put him through the uprights. Let's go.
That's what kickers are supposed to do, that's for sure. Guys, we'll talk to you in just a little bit. PRI Productions, the Southeast Full-Service Event Company, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com and learn more. Time now for the Frangie File. We visit a little longer with Jags play-by-play announcer Frank Frangie from Jerry's World in Arlington, Texas. A big, beautiful stadium there for the Dallas Cowboys, Frank.
Boy, it's a big old place. Yeah, we've been here enough times that we shouldn't be surprised by it, JP, but every time you get in there, you see that gigantic scoreboard in the middle, and this thing is cavernous and an important game for a lot of Jaguars today. You guys have talked about it, so I know it's a preseason game, but for a new team with a lot of young guys and a new quarterback and a new coach, an important game today. I really believe that.
Frank, one of the things we've seen that's been an issue for the Jags, even when Trevor Lawrence has had good protection in the preseason, we don't see a lot of guys getting open, right? Not getting a ton of separation. Where's the speed going to come on offense this year, and that separation going to come from with Etienne now out for the year?
You know, Mike, that's a good question. I think there's I think what you're seeing, what we're all seeing is it's sort of a matrix. It's a combination of Trevor hasn't played against this kind of speed game in and game out yet, so the game's still moving a little bit fast for him. So if guys are breaking open, he's not seeing him as quickly. It's not a fast team. I heard Tony say that before, so I agree with you. I don't know where the speed comes from. I think DJ Chark is a fast player. He doesn't always play fast, but I think he runs fast. So I think he's got to be a very big part of this. I think Laviska Shenault can run. I had this conversation with Urban Meyer, and he told me before the season, he said, look, Chark's fast. Shenault's fast. We just got to get them to play fast, and that's part of what we do offensively. But I agree with you. With Travis Etienne, everybody expected he would be the speed of the offense. Without him, I think you're going to need to throw the ball deep to some of those receivers a little bit because I think they're the 2 fastest guys.
Frank Frangie with us from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. We just touched on it a good bit there. The offensive line, Cam Robinson is dressing today. We'll see how much he plays, if at all. But if he doesn't, then that's 4 offensive linemen down today. Yeah. They weren't showing a lot anyway offensively, but how does that change your strategy, your feel today in this game?
Everybody's nervous, JP. Everybody's nervous. I agree with what Tony and Jeff said. Trevor Lawrence needs to play. It's clear by the games we've seen, the reps he's had, that he needs one more game of practice before it starts to count, so he needs to play. But we're all nervous. We'd be naive if we don't say we're nervous about you want to keep him protected, and I think that's a big part of it. Jeff made a great point earlier. Good quarterbacks know how to protect themselves, but I think you see him. I think you see a lot of the first half. I would not be surprised if he goes the distance in the first half today, JP. Back to the line, by the way. What we haven't seen all preseason is all 5 of them together. And now Norwell's been practicing. He's not going to play here today. Obviously, you read the names. But I think the offensive line's going to be okay when they play. I really like the middle of that group. I think A.J. Cann played better than anybody thought last year. I think Linder and Norwell are very good players. Norwell probably had a Pro Bowl year if the team had played better. I worry a little about the tackles. I think everybody does. But I think the line, when they finally get together, JP, I think it's a pretty good group. I really do.
Frank, we still have a preseason game to go today and a couple more weeks of practice before the Jaguars open up the year. But based on where things were heading into training camp and your feeling about the team, are you more encouraged, less encouraged, or feeling about the same?
I'm about the same, but I'm probably in the minority, Mike. I asked Pete Prisco that question on our show. I've asked other people, and there's a lot of people that seem to see more wins in their mind than they say after the 2 preseason games. I'm not there. I think it's a team that's going to get better every week. I think Urban, to his credit, he has been very transparent. He said, I'm learning every day. It's clear he's leaning on his coordinators. He's leaning on his staff. But he's a bright guy, and I think he's going to learn it. I think it's a team. The funny thing about that question, and Mike, because we've all asked it, the early part of the season, based on last year's results, looks like there's more winnable games in the late part of the season. Yet I think the team will be a better team, barring injury, 7 or 8 games in, a way better team than they were to start. So I'm okay. I'm not panicked yet. I want to see Trevor Lawrence and this whole team play a full game. I'll have a way better idea about that, as we all will after that Texans game, when all the ones play together for an entire game.
Frank, have a great call today in Dallas, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks.
Okay, boys, thanks.
Hi, Frank. Frangie, play-by-play voice of the Jaguars at AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas. A lot of questions still. Fans are getting restless, I think, getting ready for and I think he's right. Week 1, I think we'll forget about all this anxiety and things, and when the Jags are down at NRG Stadium in Houston ready to play the Texans, it's go time.
Oh, of course it will be. But depending on the outcome of that game, people are going to point to that and say, well, I was either right about the direction this team was going or I was wrong, and that's just the nature of the society we live in. We want all the answers now, JP. But I think Frank is right. I think more people right now are more concerned at this point about the Jaguars than they were heading into training camp. Not that they, had a lot of people predicting 10 or more wins, but when your first-team offense hasn't been able to get going, you lose a key piece like Etienne. You've had as many injuries on the offensive line as you've had to this point in time. Even though they're projected to be back, you got to kind of hold your breath that they're going to be able to stay on the field. There are reasons for concern right now, and hopefully the Jags can alleviate a few of those this afternoon.
Up next on the Publix Tailgate Show, a visit with the Ozone. Jaguars.com senior writer John Oehser joins us from Dallas and gives his final thoughts ahead of the preseason finale today. Jaguars Radio Network coverage starts at noon with countdown to kickoff, and we're a little over an hour away from preseason week 3. The Jaguars and the Dallas Cowboys coming up. This is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
Move day is on the 20, the 10. Yes, another successful move to a new home. I tell you, folks, I've never seen a team more prepared than the Move Day crew. With a dominating lead in training, trust, and moving efficiency, it's no wonder why Move Day is the official moving company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Track your goods online and get updated play-by-plays throughout your move process. While the Jags are moving the chains on game day, they're here to help you on moving day. Call 844-MY-MOVE-DAY or visit MoveDayMovers.com.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk. Checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk. Checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
Touchdown at Jaguars away games when you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport. Join the Jaguars at Houston, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Los Angeles. Taunt the other teams in Nashville, New York, and Boston. When you fly nonstop from Duval, on-airport parking will punt the stress from your travel itinerary. Garage facilities offer defensive coverage from the weather and are a 50-yard dash from the terminal. And economy lots are now open at just $6 a day. To learn more about nonstop flights and on-airport parking, visit flyjax.com. The original Pizza Logs are a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and available at the stadium on game day. You'll find those delicious gourmet pizza egg rolls at concession stands, clubs, and suites. For all their products, be sure to check out pizzalogs.com and have them delivered right to your home. That's pizzalogs.com.
Put down the burger, put down the dog. Pick up the original Pizza Log. There's only one. The original pizza log. Yeah.
So we had a problem with our office IT systems a few months back. And of course, I don't want the boss getting upset about it, since she still hasn't forgiven me for last month's wardrobe malfunction. So I did the smart thing and called Sassine's Office Systems. They've provided top-notch IT solutions and services since 1981, including Canon copiers, printers, and mailing solutions. They even handle wide-format printers and electronic document storage, which is important since my boss still hasn't forgiven me for the birthday cake incident. Best of all, Sassine's Office Systems has flexible support programs, certified field techs, and fast, friendly service for one flat monthly fee. And saving money is always a good thing, especially since my boss still hasn't forgiven me for my parachute pants presentation. I was actually wearing parachute pants.
Trust Sassine's Office Systems to handle your IT equipment and office systems, including Canon-connected copiers and printers. Learn more at sassines.com. That's SISSINES.com.
Final moments of the Publix Tailgate Show. The Jaguars and the Dallas Cowboys coming up at 1:07 officially Eastern Time in preseason week 3. Season tickets, single game tickets, and group tickets. Be a part of the new era of Jaguars football and own it.
Own it.
Visit jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. Nobody owns it more than the Ozone.
This broadcast is ozone friendly. The Ozone.
Jaguars.com senior writer John Oehser joins us from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, owning it as always. John, good morning.
Well, as you guys know, I've been forced to own a lot of mistakes in my life. I don't know how much I actually own it, but it is sort of the story of my life. I will grant you that.
Well,
Preseason,
cool.
fellas. One more.
This is it. This is the last one, John. So the last chance for you to get something on tape for the preseason. Get final cuts coming up. Hey, a lot of quarterback news this week, John, obviously.
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence named the starter. Gardner Minshew shipped to Philly. C.J. Beathard seems to have that solidified now. So that's a flurry in a couple days at that position.
Yeah, it is. And I think today I do think it's sort of important. I usually don't think preseason's that important, but I think it's important for Trevor Lawrence to get in a little bit more of a rhythm. I think that's what the coaches want. I think it's what Urban Meyer wants to see. I expect a lot of C.J. Beathard, but I also kind of wonder the second half of this game if you won't see quite a bit of Jake Luton. I'm not sure how much Beathard really has to prove. It feels like he's the backup, and that's what it's going to be. So, it's crazy. I think they got what they could for Gardner Minshew. I think they felt like now was the time to move it. It didn't feel like, he came close to outplaying C.J. Beathard. So my understanding is there's some fans who are kind of upset about the compensation. To me, that's what Gardner was going to be worth, and I think they got as much as they could out of that deal.
All right, so John, when it comes to Trevor Lawrence today, what's your approach? Are you leaving him out there until he has some success? And what if they don't put up any touchdowns in the first half? Does he come out in half number 2, or is this a case of if he has a good drive early, you're going to take him out?
Yeah, I would think if rhythm is obtained, that's the word they kept using this week, if they feel like they get rhythm, my sense is, okay, as soon as you feel like that rhythm's established, maybe one more series and then get out of there. I mean, I agree with playing. I got a lot of questions this week. With the offensive line being so banged up, do you risk playing? I don't think you can take that approach because these guys who are playing, Shatley's going to be in there, Barch is going to be in there. Good chance these guys play at some point during the season, so you can't just hide the quarterback when those guys aren't in there. So, but I don't think, if it looks shaky up front the first couple of series, it wouldn't surprise you to get him out of there and say, hey, it's just not worth the risk. I don't think they can assume that'll be the case. But then, yes, as soon as they get a little bit of rhythm, I think you say, okay, we've done what we can do. Let's get him out and get ready for Houston in 2 weeks.
John Oehser with us from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. What's the most pressing thing you need to see today on defense, John? What stands out the most in preseason week 3?
I think you'd like to see, and I'm not sure this is a fair thing to want to see with Josh Allen out, but it feels like they've stopped the run. it feels like they're going to do that. I think you want to pile one more of those onto that because I think it's important for this team to believe that it's going to stop the run. And right now they do. It's worked in 2 straight preseason games. You want to go into that regular season having confidence in that. Whether it's real or not, we won't know until it starts. But you want them to have confidence in it. And then you would like to see them pile on top of that, a couple of good pass rushes early so that they believe they can get pressure on quarterbacks. I mean, that has been okay, but it hasn't stood out the way I know Joe Cullen would like it to stand out. So go ahead and keep stopping the run and then get some pass rush. I don't think they're worried about the deep balls last week. I think they feel like that can be addressed and fixed. The coverage wasn't bad. I don't think that's a flaw. But, yeah, you want to see some pass rush.
John, what kind of confidence do you think the coaching staff, particularly Urban Meyer, has in Josh Lambo right now?
Make the field goal. I mean, that was the money quote this week. Urban Meyer was asked if he was concerned, and he flat out said yes, and then he said make the field goal. And he had said that same thing after week 1. I forget what it was, but basically saying you got to stick it through the uprights. I would not want to miss one today if I'm Lambo with a bunch of cuts being made around the league with kickers on Tuesday. I don't know that would happen, but concern was real and he said it publicly. So I would want to make kicks.
Urban doesn't say something if there's not something, you know what I mean? That was
yeah.
He's going to say it if there's something out there. So
I mean, Urban wasn't over the top or out of line about it.
No, but it was just, hey,
he just said,
kicks.
Got to make kicks, especially from under 50. So, I mean, it's Josh Lambo has been terrific for this franchise, but Urban hasn't seen that history. So right now, Urban has seen 2 missed field goals under 50 yards. In the NFL, you can't do that.
John, we'll look forward to your writing a little later in the day today, and enjoy the day in Dallas.
Fantastic, guys. Always enjoy it.
All right, John.
Jaguars.com senior writer John Oehser joining us from the broadcast booth at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, and we're looking forward to preseason week 3. Final chance to put it on tape, Mike.
Yeah, I hope they put good stuff on tape, but I honestly just emerge 100% healthy it really is the biggest thing, JP, because we'd love for, like, if we have to go, oh man, darn it, they failed to put up a touchdown, what is going on? That's a much better outcome than, I'm not even going to speak what could possibly be on the negative side of things.
Let's not go there.
I'm not going to. But
we are not.
We all know that possibility exists, and I get it. You got to play your guys to the degree you need to get them ready.
That'll do it for the Publix Tailgate Show. We'll come back with Jaguars Radio Network coverage, Countdown to Kickoff, featuring CBS Sports senior writer Pete Prisco, pride of the Jaguars running back Fred Taylor, and we'll have the final word before kickoff with head coach Urban Meyer. And we're an hour away from preseason week 3. The Jaguars and the Dallas Cowboys coming up. And from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, this has been the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.